Hey, this is Sam from the Gamer Show on the British Tech Network. Um, if anyone's ever bothered listening to our show, which I'm sure some people somewhere do, certainly Ed, you'll have heard me talk almost endlessly about Rome Total War. And so I thought I'd make some videos to show you all what I'm talking about and why it's such an amazing game and eats up a shed load of my life. Yeah, so this is your start screen, different campaigns, battles, setting, blah blah blah. If we go into the grand campaign, these are your different faction types, different cultures across the top. First one's Rome. That's split into 3 different factions. Each faction has its own kind of different abilities or bonuses, negatives to it. And each culture has its own bonuses. So Rome there has, sorry I'm losing my voice, or have lost, I am regaining my voice after not being able to talk for days and days and days. It's made Amy's World fantastic. So Rome here has Roman legions, which gives you a +1 recruitment slot, means you get you can recruit more people at once than other people, and bread and circuses, so you get bonus to your food in all provinces, and the different factions within Rome get different bonuses down here. There's Carthage, who I love dearly because they're Rome's nemesis. Carthage obviously was wiped out by Rome. I always turn that around. Don't actually like playing Rome at all. Don't know why, just not keen. Balkan tribes, they're kind of raiders. They're annoying and I'm not very good at playing them, but fun, to be fair, fun. I do like Falksmen. Gallic tribes, they're a bit too French for my taste, but hey ho. Successor kingdoms, Alexander's successors, so when Alexander of Macedon, when his empire broke apart, it broke into different segments, they all fight amongst each other. Greek states, they're Greek, the only one people probably really know nothing about at all is Massilia, who have one little settlement within southern France. Iberian factions, again, to be honest, they're a bit too Spanish for me. They're not very good. They've got very limited troop choices. Nomadic tribes, these are kind of horse raiders and archers and stuff. Really not keen, but that's because I can't fight a horse battle. I'm just not very good at them. I find them an absolute nightmare to fight against though. Eastern empires, they're in the east, funny that. Parthia, quite fun. Armenia, quite fun. Pontus, possibly my favourite faction, do love Pontus. Black Sea colonies, they're Greek but a bit raidery. Yeah, so very Greek. Britain, yeah, rule Britannia, unfortunately they're crap. So yeah, Britain, really not very good, very easy to start off with, you just take over the rest of Britain. Really difficult when you move into the rest of the world because Britain's troops are just no good. Germany, quite fun to play because it's full on from the outset. You start in the centre of a group of people that hate you, and yeah, it's all about the fighting. Mr. Bede, who has been on the show a few times, and people may or may not remember him, has requested that this time round I play Egypt. Egypt is one of my favourite factions. They have a vast array of different troop types and I find them thoroughly enjoyable. Just to break it down, so Egypt's cultural, so the successor kingdoms all get successor conflicts, plus 10% morale for all units battled units during battles against Hellenic factions. So if you're fighting other Greek type people, you get a bonus to your morale. Although bear in mind that all successors get that, so they're all getting that. Alexander's Legacy, minus 20% to foreign occupation. So when you move in somewhere, people are 20% less hateful. Egypt's own bonuses, or negative and bonuses. So Egypt gets foreign dynasty because obviously the rulers of Egypt were not originally Greeks. So you get plus 25% public order penalties. So Alexander's Legacy gives you minus 20 resistance, so when you move in, people hate you 20% less, but this gives you 25%, so actually I'm up 5% when I invade places of people hating me, much like my standard day-to-day life. Ptolemaic, and that is Ptolemaic, Enlightenment, 10% research rate, so that makes me research stuff faster, and Naval Prowess, +1 experience for Egyptian ship recruits, which is a huge bonus because I am so shoddy at naval battles. Anyway, so that's your brief introduction to all the different factions. Here's Egypt. People moan a lot about the loading times in this game. That's fair enough. It does take quite a while, but I don't really see it that much as a problem. This has gone on for what, like 20-30 seconds. I might cut the end bit because the end bit normally runs a bit longer, but hey ho. I'm also starting a timer because I'm trying to keep these to roughly half an hour-ish. So hopefully this will work. Also gives you some interesting little quotes and bits of information on how to play the game down at the bottom here while it loads, and pretty pictures. I think that's Hannibal.
Your former vassals, Cyrenaica, have deigned to declare their independence and must be brought to heel. Cyprus remains true, but is at risk from invasion, as are your eastern possessions. The Seleucid Empire is a particular threat, a sprawling successor kingdom desperate to maintain power by whatever means possible. An alliance with Nabatea may help to keep them in check. Maintain trade relations with the Greek states and beware of Macedonian treachery, as they too may seek to gain control of Alexander's former empire. Egypt shall be victorious.
Yes, we shall. Right, so start off, you automatically get an objective issued, sent to my bold undertakings. It is written in Latin above it there. I'm not going to even attempt to read that because I'm sure I'll humiliate myself in other ways. From humble beginnings come great things. Take your first step and establish a foothold from which to launch your people's greatness. To greatness, rather. Completely control 3 provinces either by direct ownership or through satrapies and military allies. Military allies is obvious. Satrapies are your bitches. So they're countries who you've beaten the crap out of and they've rolled over and spread their legs for you. If I do that, I get 2,500 cash. 2,500 cash sounds not very much, but or possibly a huge amount. It's really friggin' useful. So yeah, here we go. This is Egypt. So I start with an entire province. What a province is. Oh, that's my general. So this is a province. So a province is made up of individual little town states or regions. I own all of the regions of Egyptus. That gives me a bonus to the provincial edicts. Provincial edicts give you stuff. So I can do mercenary negotiations. I tend not to use mercenaries unless I'm really desperate. Noble philanthropy, which is stuff costs less. Commercial stimulation, which is gives cash. Bread and games, which is always a favourite when you've invaded somewhere and they're really unhappy. It's +4 food, additional to your food pile, and +4 public order, so that tries to make people happy by giving them food. Much like our current government does, I believe, or fails to do. +15% tax rate, so that's obviously, in fact, that is what our current government does. I think I might run a Tory government. Should I run a Tory government? No. I'm going Lib Dem. I'm going to go Lib Dem, and I'm going to put it all into commercial stimulation, which is actually, I suppose, semi-Tory as well, but hey ho. I'm a big believer in food, so we'll chuck some additional food building places in there. I also own this half a province, so this is Nabatea. Nabateans own these 2 areas. Nabateans are pretty useful allies though, so I'm not going to piss them off just now. I am going to build a muster field over here though, which gives me the ability to train better troops. At the moment, over here, I can only train Egyptian infantry and Egyptian slingers. Egyptian infantry, although they look pretty funky, are a bit rubbish, so I'm going to be wanting some better troops over there. What else am I going to do? On my last one, where's that? No, I'm going to swap that. So I'm going to have food over here, and I'm going to have another muster field over there because I'm greedy. And down the bottom here, I'm going to have I'm going to have a fish market, so I'll get even more food. Food boosts this, so your food surplus, if you have more food than you need, it helps your provinces to expand, or your regions to expand. You get more people, you get to build extra stuff, and it also helps feed your troops, who are obviously very important. So troops wise, I have this army here, this army here, but he's going to stand and protect me from the machinations of the Seleucids. I'm going to shift this spy over here to keep an eye out, and that's going to be his job. He's just going to spot Seleucids coming in for an attack. This is your diplomacy. It shows you all the factions that you know of. So I don't know anything about this side of the world, I only know about this side of the world. Green is friendly, red is angry. So Cyrenica, or however you pronounced it, hate me. They hate me for these reasons. I don't really care, I'm going to crush them. Cyprus is my bitch, and my satrapy. Hello Cyprus.
Greetings,
we're not trading
guest.
with Cyprus for some obscure reason. So we're going to
trade.
These words. Trade brings you in an amount of money depending on the faction and whether they want to talk to you or not. This lot I'm going to take over eventually. Blemes or Blemais or whatever they're called are the only ones I can trade with because they're on my border, and they're the only ones down there with a port. From experience, because I have put a huge amount of time into this game, Axum there, they attack Moreau and Blemes and take over fairly swiftly.
Friend.
So I'm going to
Come,
trade with them because it won't ruin my attempts to take over all Upper and Lower Egypt, or Ethiopia rather. So yeah, I'm also going to trade with Himyar there.
My friend.
Unburden yourself.
They're sensible and they want a bit of cash.
I accept. When two right.
And Nabatea.
Greetings, most excellent friend.
Yeah, you
May
love
the
a bit of
gods
cash.
bless you many.
Non-aggression, so that builds them up to being really quite friendly. They're not the darkest of greens, they could be darker. Let's
In
push
my
our luck.
lord's name,
No,
be-
they don't want a defensive alliance. Athens, I'm already trading with.
Welcome, welcome.
They'll also take a
I must
non-aggression
accept,
treaty.
although my honour cries out against it.
Sparta, because it's always handy to have the
I am
Spartans
eager
on
to
your
hear your embassy.
side.
In-
They well want
I must.
a non-aggression treaty with me. So I'll push those into full defensive treaties later on. But for the moment, that's about it. There's one more thing we can try. So the Seleucids are your natural enemy, so they're always going to be attacking you at some point. Well, unless I can really turn things around, or they get pushed on from kind of above. Armenia is sometimes pretty aggressive. Pontus is up here. Yeah. So Sardes here are the Seleucids' bitch. If we can make friends
Welcome.
with Sardes,
I throw open the doors
then
to you and bid you
that
enjoy
will-
our talks.
lessen the Seleucids' chances of attacking us. So, because they're their bitch, they don't get full the full options for diplomacy, but they're well keen to trade with me.
With the
So notice now they're a slightly less red region, so they're slightly less aggressive towards us. So that's diplomacy. This is your research. So to start off your research, you only get two choices: either the Ways of Horus or the Nile calendar. I want the Nile calendar because it brings in cash, and I can get round to doing the other one fairly swiftly. This region here has this in it, an iron workshop. That gives you better, or the ability to upgrade your units to a better standard. So I'm going to upgrade them. Oh, I've still got cash. Have I forgotten to do something? No, I've still got cash. My gosh.
my lord.
And what else? Let's upgrade them. I've still got cash. Okay, so that's as good as they can get. So as we said before, Cyrenaica or Cyrenaica or however, really don't like us. They used to be our bitch, but they don't want to be our bitch anymore. So I'm going to crush them because that's what they deserve. This is my navy, so I can notice I can move my army only this far, but I can move my navy all the way over there. So if I go over here, I can blockade that port. So this is your kind of battle prep screen. You can quick save up the top here. You can maintain your blockade. You can auto resolve. You can fight the battle, or you can retreat. If you're going to auto resolve, it gives you three options. You can take an aggressive stance, a balanced stance, or a protective stance. Notice here, this is the projected remaining forces and your chances of winning. And it's none for all of them. So for the moment, we shall maintain our blockade. The reason I'm doing that is because I can now sneakily march my chappie up here,
We take this settlement for you, my lord.
and hopefully
Good orders, my lord. Get the blockade set up.
he's now involved in the fight. So, as it's the first one, we can go in. We get fairly decent kind of remaining force stats here, but it's our first fight, so we're going to take it. So into the battle screen. So obviously the initial engagement is between my navy and his navy. This is your map. This is the town that we're attacking. So I can put my fleets in this area and my land forces in this area. Because of the fact that it's technically a naval battle, because I'm attacking with my fleet, my land forces are going to come on from the edge of the map as reinforcements. Weather conditions, so it's currently raining, I can wait off and change it. If I leave it on raining, archers can't use flaming arrows. It's more difficult to set fire to buildings, so if I was besieging a town with walls, it would be more difficult for me to burn down gates and towers and things. Also, I can't burn ships, and units take longer to recover from fatigue. So folk are always knackered, basically. So let's wait off and see if we get a nice sunny day. Nice sunny day. Look how beautiful this game is. Look how gorgeous she is. And this is on fairly shoddy computer and graphics settings. My beautiful big ship here. Fun nips going on. Massive ram on the front for thrusting into the enemy. And my troops on board. They can all get off the ship. And these towers here are our archer towers. This one, more manoeuvrable ship, smaller ram. Troops on board are just javelin men. On the map here, so you remember I was talking about my reinforcing army. This yellow square here shows that they're going to come in from this edge. I'm not too fussed about that for the moment because I've only got the ships to deploy.
Orders!
The enemy will generally just beach its troops here. This is the centre point here. There's no longer, so that one of the big complaints about Rome Total War used to be if you marched in and took over the capture point, you got 150 seconds and then it was yours. That's no longer the case. It just gives you bonuses to your troops. So I'm going to put my lads here, and I'll probably just have to land them here and reinforce my armies, but we'll see. So let's start off, and the computer's an idiot. So big ship here, gonna ram that. Little ship, gonna change it to flaming shot.
Reinforcements have
And we're going to
arrived.
try and skip around the side of it. That's my army arriving from the side of the screen, but we're not too fussed about that for the moment because we want to watch this. So I've set this big one to ram that little one, and this one to kind of dodge around the side there.
Our general is under attack.
Fighters and ready!
This is the unit cam. Doesn't really give me a good... And we crushed the little ship.
Show them steel! Assault ships
Yeah, so we
reporting!
sank that. Look at all the little people. Oh, they're drowning. They're drowning.
To attack!
Support ships at your command.
Stop wasting ammunition. And we rammed that one. Double rammed it. Everyone's jumping off. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. The computer was an idiot for hanging out on that. So, how freaking cool was that? Sank both ships. Took no losses whatsoever, although I did use up a few shots from my javelin men, but we're not too bothered about that.
To their oars!
Now just going to move them up to this landing point. So notice there are only certain areas where I can land my troops. Over here, over here. Obviously you can't land them on the cliffs, and then all the way over here. Over here would be good. So over to my land forces. Here's my land forces.
Royal Thorax Swordsman!
Here's my general. General's unit. They've got some funky beard helmets going on. Everyone loves funky beard helmets. Bloke with a stick at the front there. Very important chap. There's my general there, I think.
Do not shame the gods!
So yeah, they're swordsmen. Those are the different abilities down the side there, or the different statistics. Notice there's a big difference between the two. Yeah, so they're just swords. They're rock hard swords. These are pikemen. Pikemen are rubbish if you hit them in the flanks. That's the sides, or in the rear. But if you hit them in the front, someone has this set off, you're not really going to have much of a chance. So we'll turn that off. These are my slingers. They do exactly what they say on the tin. They are lads with slings, and they throw rocks at people. Not terribly threatening. So we'll march the slingers up there. We'll select those 3 lads there. If I right click and drag, I can tell them what kind of positions to sit in. They'll automatically run. I don't want them to, because I don't like tired guys. I've just clicked, so that guy's just walking. But I really want him to sit like that. And then these lads can march up behind. A bit better than that. Oh no. Third one. Bit better than that. Right. So, computers put some slingers up the front and kept its troops towards the back. Egyptian infantry, which, as we have spoken about, are shoddy. 2 units of mobs, which are basically just peasants. They look like peasants. And some more slingers. I'm going to land these ships in the rear in the hopes that the computer craps itself a little bit and pulls off some troops to make it even easier for this lot to deck them. There's my troops jumping off. Big ship. Sinking to the ground a little bit there, which is a little bit weird. And everyone's jumping off the side. It's a pretty gorgeous game. While we're waiting for that, we'll just have a little look around the town. It's quite a nice little place. If I was the computer, I would have pulled back up here, because there's only one way up it, which I could have defended from there and put my missile troops behind. With the force that he's got, I probably still would have lost, but I would have done better. So notice when I hover over either the unit or the unit card, it shows us that red ring. That shows us their range. Obviously at the moment they're out of range. Now we boosted this unit, so this unit has additional missile damage, so that should be able to deck these other Egyptian slingers fairly easily. So let's try
Mind your
taking those
targets!
out. Wandering forward a bit. Yeah, and we're lobbing at them. We got the first shot in. We took out no one. Okay, we're starting to kill them. And they're not killing us yet. And that's because we boosted their weapons and their armour.
Pikes, ready!
Okay. While that's going on, we'll bung
Phalanx formation!
pikes into phalanx formation. They do love to shout what they're doing. And we're going to march the pikes up to just make a human wall here.
Servants of mighty Pharaoh!
Notice we pretty much made them so the flag there flashing means that they're starting to lose the will to live a bit. We've lost 3 to their 21. They're a bit worried about their losses. Seeing as everyone has moved up now, we're going to run these lads down. He thinks he's being a bit clever.
Egyptian warriors!
Race them up.
Royal thorax!
Race these ones up to the side.
At the double!
Because he thinks he can attack.
We serve the mighty Pharaoh!
Flank there.
Pikemen awaiting
So
orders!
that was actually a pretty terrible decision from me.
Missiles!
Halt!
Notice this lot, mob, just ran away. Totally to be expected.
1,000 deaths!
Egyptian
Last two in.
infantry!
Javelins there, charging, smashing into them. Got a nice little fight going on. They're already peeing themselves.
Javelin men!
I don't really know why they're on melee attack. They shouldn't be. They should be on shooting. But you
Egyptian
know,
infantry!
makes very little difference. So this lot weave themselves and
Egyptian
they're running away.
infantry!
And that's me won. Not as well as I could have. Obviously I left those pikemen a bit open to attack. I wasn't paying enough attention, but I wasn't really that fussed. We knew we were going to win it. 13 losses to 459. We did come in with almost twice the men. Yeah. I'd feel a bit of a bully, but I don't really care. And I really hate Cyrenaica. Again, loading screens, take a bit of time. Fantastic piece of advice there. went out in number. And we now flip to this screen, so I can choose to either occupy, loot, which gives me cash but it makes people angry, and I intend to own this province. Raise, which means that I destroy everything there and I have to spend money on rebuilding it, but it does terrify people into obeying me. I'm going to choose to occupy it peacefully.
It is an honor to serve you.
My admiral who led that attack has gone up, so I can give him a new ability. There's 3 different starting abilities: warrior, commander, or strategy. Each one give kind of general abilities within the different battles. I'm going to choose warrior. I'm going to go back to my army here. So they're on standard movement, which is the one that allows you to attack. There are these other different types though. So fortify, I can build a little fort, helps me replenish my guys, but I can only do it when I have half of my movement left. Ambush, which I love to ambush, but the computer never ever falls for it because I think the computer kind of semi-cheats and can see you still. Raiding, which allows you to move in. It means that you pay less for your army, but it also makes the whole place furious, and generally I'm only moving in somewhere if I'm going to take it over. And force march. Force march is bad if there's an enemy around, because they can beat you up because you guys are knackered. But if I put them in force march, it means that I can get them into this place, which, as you see here, they're currently really pissed off. They're minus 47 to their public order. It's also a desert tribe, so it's 90% desert tribe, and it's only bringing in 85 quid. Why do I bother? So I'll run them in, and because they've got an army in there, that's reduced their unhappiness to minus 38. So they're still pretty peeved, but not as peeved as they were before. Yeah, so that's my new little town. Huzzah! Yeah, so as I say, I want to move in to the south here eventually, but I'm going to wait until Axum attacks the Blemies, and because the Blemies are my chums, then I'll be obliged to go down and beat the hell out of them. But in the meantime, I'm just going to focus on taking over this entire province of Libya. So there's 3 more to go, 2 different factions. This one I'm not at war with yet, but I'm sure I'll annoy them enough to join in the war. That's about all I can do for this turn. Just noting that I've captured the settlement, so this is your event messages. It's where my objective came from. War target, so I can select a war target, I'll show you that in a second, and I've encountered the Nazamones, who are this lot over here, who will shortly hate me. The other thing I can do in diplomacy, as I've just hinted at, is I can choose this to set war coordinates on different places to encourage my allies and my satrapies to go and attack a particular place. Currently I want Cyprus to look after itself, because Cyprus is in a pretty dodgy position with the Seleucids and Sardis, who, although they're friendly with me, don't really like Cyprus right on its borders. So I'm going to leave Cyprus to its own devices in the hope that it will defend itself, because it being my satrapy gives me cash. On that note, and I know it's only the first turn, but the next ones will go quicker because I'm not going to be explaining as much. I'm going to end this, save it up, and post it online. And I'll see you in the next battle, or the next few turns, I suppose. Cheers, tra!